Welcome to another episode of our Biz in 30. My name's Jim Grun. I'm a co-founder and co-host of Biz in 30. And I'd like to introduce you to our other founder and co-host, Mr. Jim Casper. Jimbo, take it away.
Thank you, Jimmy, and welcome everyone to Biz in 30. Today, due to the wildfires in California, Jimmy and I have taken the liberty to reschedule and move our guest today up in our drop schedule. You'll see as we get into this what I'm speaking about. Today, we are honored, and I mean truly honored, to have Mr. Sascha Birger, Mr. Alexander Birger, we call him Sascha. And Mr. Birger is the CIO and CMO of FlameOff Corporation. FlameOff is a company which manufactures flame retardant paint for commercial applications. And Mr. Birger has a very distinguished background in education. He is the recipient of the master's degree in physics from the Moscow Institute of Technology and Physics, and probably one of the brightest, two or three brightest people I've ever met. And full disclosure, I want to tell you, Sascha and I have known each other for over 20 years, and he also helped our business with technical matters, software development, and they're very good. And that's his other company. Sascha has 3 beautiful children and a beautiful Polish wife. Sascha also is a person that taught me the rule of multiple streams of income. And we'll get into that in some future podcast, multiple streams of income. And I want to just extend a very big welcome to Mr. Sascha Birger. Sascha, welcome. We're so thrilled to have you with us today.
Jim, thank you so much for your hospitality. And Jim Casper, I treat you as my teacher in multiple verticals of business. You are my guru.
Well, thank you. That's awful kind, but unnecessary, because it's not true. And I'll, Sascha, for our listeners and viewers, what in the world possessed you to get into FlameOff?
It's an interesting story, but it was Her Majesty the Fortune, right? We were together with my partner, whose name is Jim Turner. Is it a new law of nature that every good person has to be named Jim?
There are some exceptions, of course.
Definitely, yes, some exceptions, but we're not going to speak about them right now.
But Sascha, remember, James was the brother of Jesus. So
there you go.
Jimmy and I and Jim Turner are not perfect, but we're pretty close. So go ahead.
So together with my partner and friend, Jim Turner, we were in one of our software ventures, because our mother company is Tisby and it's a software company. So doing our software deals, we met a person who was original founder of FlameOff. His name is Scott Soisby. And Scott was an amazing guy and he liked our software, but we understood immediately this is not a dating event, it's a marriage event. And we ended up in a much deeper relationship, which resulted in us kind of acquiring this company in 2013. And he was in business for many years before that, but he understood that he needed some scalability, and we were providing that to FlameOff, and we were able to do this. Now, all of the credit, the company required a lot of work, and all of the credit goes to Jim Turner, who became a new guiding force, new leader of this company, and he still is. I cannot explain to you how much energy and talent and time and sweat and tears Jim spent to reinvent this company, reinvent everything, and put it back on the map, and then make it a leader, although we are a relatively small company, technological leader in fire safety.
Yeah. For the audience, if you haven't noticed, Sascha has a Southern accent, and it's Southern Latvia. And Sascha was born and raised in Latvia. And Sascha, just for the audience, many people have not traveled in that area in the world. Where is Latvia located?
It's a former Soviet republic located west of Russia, not far from Germany. It's bordering Lithuania, which is bordering Poland, which is bordering Germany, and that's kind of traveling along the coast of amazing, beautiful Baltic Sea. So Latvia is one of the Baltics. And Riga is the capital. It's a beautiful country.
Yeah, it's right. You're kind of cousins with Lithuania, correct?
Yes, Latvians are cousins with Lithuanians. It's like North Carolina and South Carolina, close neighbors.
Okay, great. I appreciate that. As far as FlameOff is concerned, what's the profile of your end user?
So FlameOff is a passive fire protection company. So everybody is thinking, when we talk about fire protection, everybody thinks sprinklers, fire safety, water, but that's what we call active. Or smoke alarms, they're active. They respond to the event, where what FlameOff, we are focused on the passive, which is somewhat different, but somewhat better. This is pretty much, we have right now 2 products. They are water-based, they are green, non-toxic, and they are designated for interior use only. By that reason, unfortunately, today we are not in any answer to California situation, because our product is interior only. But this is an intumescent paint. One of our products called Flame Fire Barrier Paint, which is intumescent paint. It looks like a regular paint you can buy in Lowe's or Home Depot, but it's actually not a paint, although it looks like it. It's a coating which provides a fire rating to certain substrates, such as structural steel, wood, and gypsum, and many others, like even concrete and composites. So another reason it's not a paint is fireproofing. Has nothing to do with painting, or almost nothing to do with painting, because painting is a pretty much cosmetic and somewhat protective job, right? Where fireproofing is scientific engineering project, which requires precision, measurement, knowledge, and certification.
Sasha, the application there, does that, is it a spray-on? And how do you achieve the proper thickness or to reach ratings that you need to reach?
Great question, Jim. So it is usually spray on. Most of the applications are in commercial and large industrial or small industrial scale businesses. Only few of them we target for residential, although it's not a problem for residential, but it's just usually our typical client is not this. It's a spray on application. In some situations on a small scale or on the fixed situation, it can be brushed, but our typical application would be by professional fireproofer who brings a lot of equipment and a lot of knowledge and a lot of measuring devices. So you have to be precise in how to apply it, in how many layers, how you dry it, how you measure it. There is always a measurement of thickness, and the destination thickness depends heavily upon what you're applying into and what fire rating you're trying to achieve.
Obviously, a thinner application would give you like a 2-hour rating, and something thicker you could go more than that.
So I'm kind of have to be lip tight about what can it be doing if more fire rating. Although no matter how I want to tell you yes, we always have to go with what we tested. So this industry is it's a safety product, and we cannot tell our client anything else, and we have a certification for 2 hours on certain type of structural steel. And even if we can go higher, we will not be able to tell that, right? So
sure.
Until we test.
Sasha, you and Jimmy, you may be interested in this. They've done a theater in Andersonville, Jimmy, north of Chicago.
Yeah, interesting.
Jungle teeth.
And you also did a stadium in Qatar, right?
We were sending the product for Ras Abu Abud Stadium for Soccer 22 Championship for the object number 7 in Abu Dhabi. Unfortunately, they canceled the project, but it was interesting. Yeah, it's very sad for them because they spend money and we ship them the product. It would be working beautiful, but that is interesting case study because they were building the mobile stadium, which was supposed to be, they were putting it out of sea containers with a remote, and we were providing the lining inside for safety and for comfort. And it was supposed to be the stadium which they can pull together and pull apart, move to a different city and pull it together again, right? But that was canceled.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
That's for them.
Just if I could just ask regarding the certifications, did you have to obviously provide data, and how does all that certification, UL certification process work? Through the state, through the local municipalities, or just so that you can your product can be specified and used in a municipality.
Yeah, I will tell you approximately how it works. So the codes and fire safety codes are not uniform throughout America, not uniform throughout Canada as well. It's better, but there is a common denominator. The least common denominator is called International Building Code, an IBC code. And the standards which we are testing against are described by ASTME, ASTM organization, American Standard, and we are going against ASTM 19 for fire barrier and E84 for fire spread. Two different tests, two different standards. Now, in order to be certified, you have to satisfy the testing conditions. It doesn't have to be UL. UL is just one of several certifying labs. So we are using a couple of labs, and we were working mainly with UL, also with the amazing lab in Texas called ICC. We also use other labs. One of them is Warrington Fire out of England, and Intertech. And we used Guardian. We used multiple labs, and so the main body of work comes with ICC and UL. These two are, we call them home laboratories where we do most of our testing, and we have good relationship with their teams. They're good people.
Has the product gone through any transformation from when you first got involved to where it is today, as far as formula or?
Yes, it does, and we always look for better. And sometimes we look for a variety of suppliers to not depend upon single point of failure. And there are soft and small changes, but we have also more than one product, and we are working on the line of new products. I don't think I can tell much about this other than they're going to be great.
Sure. Of course they are, Sasha. Of course. Hey, Sasha, I think the viewers would be very interested to know what your competitive environment is like, since you're the chief marketing officer.
Yeah.
You probably have to deal with it. Would you speak to that, please?
I'm happy to speak. So there, say, if I only talk about intumescence, which is not all of our target segments, but just main big piece. So there are a couple of big companies playing in this space. Some of them are very old, famous, and rich. I can maybe drop out a couple of names such as Isolotech and Carboline and Hilti. They're great companies, massive, very technological, savvy, and they have good and well-certified product. Then you have us, a small company with great level of certifications on our products, and it looks like we are the only one in that group. We are not a big one, but we are well certified. And then we have a plurality of smaller companies which are trying to get to certification levels, working hard, but they are just not as well certified today, as I say, right? Mm-hmm. So there are like almost like 3 layers in this pie on this market. We're in the middle layer, and obviously trying to grow our business. So what makes us unique in that space, I think it's on the product itself, right, is a very good product for our intumescent coating. Although it achieves same qualities and same. So the competition here is how thin you can be to achieve certain, for example, how thin is your protective layer to achieve 2 hours on certain substrate. The thinner, the better, right? The more economic you are for the final owner. So our product is thin enough, as thin as our thinnest competitors, but our looks are a little bit better. We get a lot of praise from architects because we have like finish comparable to eggshell and less comparable to orange peel, which was a problem with that industry for a little bit. So better finish. And there is also some competition focus around how well the product flows through the device, through the compressor, right? And that means how easy it's to apply, how frequently it gets clogging. So our product flows real well. We get praise from the applicators. Well, that's where we compete. We compete on easiness, on thickness, on certification levels, on the price a little bit.
It's got to help excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that has to help the appliers, the applicators, doesn't it?
Applicators. Yeah.
It's thinner.
Big time, because
less labor.
Because applicators are our friends. They become loyal to our product, and sometimes they can sell on the project for us instead to the final owner because they like our product. And we teach them, we educate applicators. We have a digital certification program, and a lot of our applicators become our designated applicators. We also display the map on our website, allowing our clients to locate the closest certified applicator. And
Good. I was going to ask that.
yeah, we have a lot of requests for the applicators who work with us. We help them also to find a business. It's a good win-win situation.
That's
Sasha,
awesome.
in finding new business out there, we have contractor associations and construction contractors. We have architect associations. Is that something that you advertise to or make contacts with in order to get architects? Because it seems to me, and we were in the construction business and commercial retail, the architects are ones that specify the materials that are going to be used. And I would think that that's a primary source for you to go to
Totally.
expand your business.
Totally. So we have segments to our marketing department, which I'm a big part of. And the professional organizations like architects and architect associations are definitely our target audience. We actually provide a program called Lunch and Learn. We invite architectural companies one at a time, and we can deliver DoorDash lunch to every person who comes to the meeting. We invite them to the seminar, and during that time, we interact with them, we teach them, and we answer their questions, help them to understand our product better. And our hope is that they will specify us. And since we started this program a couple of years ago, we get more and more calls from GC. GC just calls us, says, you guys are specified. That's why I'm calling. And that's
very good.
That's one of the main strategies.
Mm-hmm. Sasha, a couple more things we want to chat with you about. I think that's a great idea as far as finding new business. I think that's awesome. You've been in business now quite a while. So what challenges have you faced? Again, viewers and listeners may want to know this. Our audience is looking for these type of solutions. So what challenges have you faced in this business, whether it's customers who don't pay or maybe it's supply chain issues, whatever it is?
Of course. So, yeah, I want to call out one more time Jim Turner, who is CEO and president of Coatings, and he shouldered a lot of the problems, right? He is amazing problem solver and great businessman. And I'm so fortunate to have this gentleman as my partner, as long as two other partners, Dmitry and Scott. But Jim gets a credit for solving the most difficult problems we faced in this. Starting with the chemistry of the product, which was not quite working at first. And none of us is a chemist, but we were able to solve it. And then certification itself is a massive, ongoing, and very, very, very expensive project, which due to our approach, we were able to not borrow money from external sources other than from the sister company and get through that without investor. So it's still ongoing very much. So yeah, on paying customers, sometimes that happens. We are getting more and more strict on our terms, and many times we ask for cash up front, right? Which is not always best, but safer way for the small company. And that's, we are a little bit conservative in terms of how much risk we want to take here.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been blessed with the good customers as well. Our 99% of our customers are amazing, honest, and well-paid people.
It's fantastic.
Yes.
Sasha, do you get into the retail outlets like a Home Depot or a Lowe's or Fleet Farm, those type of outlets?
That's a good question, Jim. And it's one of our decisions was not to do this for fire barrier, but we do it for our FR Clear. We tried it. It was not massively successful for us. We're still experimenting with that. But we sell direct. We sell B2B and B2C direct. our main business line is B2B online sales. And that's where we innovate. That's where we differentiate from our larger competitors. All of them have boots on the ground. And we so far think we are fine without them. We just do online.
Yeah, sure.
Very good. So when you say direct, you're going direct to the contractors that are
direct to about 9 or 10 different categories of people. Say we go direct to architects, but architects don't buy. They specify.
Sure.
We go direct to GC and they buy if they need us, right? But the number one mission for us is not to get anybody misinformed or confused, because we are safety product, a certification product. For example, I never can tell anybody on the phone or our company, we guarantee you our product does X, Y, Z. Instead, what we say is, we have a UL test by the certified accredited third-party lab, which tells you X, Y, Z. That's a big difference, right?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yes, so we only go with what we can prove and what is certified, not to confuse anyone, not to mislead anyone.
Yeah, I think that's a great message for our viewers and for anyone in business to follow that protocol and the culture of how you do business.
I would agree. Sasha, a couple more things we want to discuss with you quickly. If you're talking to our audience and you have entrepreneurs or business owners or people who want to have a business, with your vast experience and obviously your knowledge, what are 3 pieces of advice you would give to someone right now if that person was trying to get into business? If you can come up with 3 pieces of advice.
I'll do my best, Jim, and it's a good question. I think my number one advice is get a good partner. So I'm fortunate with great partners. All 3 of them, they're amazing, amazing people. And I kind of try to lead into the second piece of advice here. So what joined us also so well is conservatism in taking the spendings or taking the risks. We all never much had argument about financials. We always all stay on the conservative side. Risk taking is important, but you have to have everybody on board with the risk. And sometimes, you have to have the balance. If one of the partners says no to risky, you don't always have to press forward with your opinion if you think it's a yes, You sometimes have to relax a little bit and leave some room for your partner to be right, So take a advantage to be wrong when your partner thinks differently, and admit it. Be open. So then
that's great advice.
Number 3, with all that said, I was always known to be a yes person. So maybe you have to still think as a businessman, and for that you have to be optimistic. And I would say, yes, think about this cup as a half full, rather half empty. And then look at all these opportunities with optimism. What can happen? Maybe good outcome is the one you need. And if it doesn't happen, you're still not going to be in the courtroom, you're not going to be in the bankruptcy, and you still have a house, possibly. Not
great
sold.
Point.
So kind of be optimistic, but remember that there is not just a plan B, there is also a plan A, which you have to make successful.
That's to be successful. No question about it.
That's a good plan. I like that plan. I really do. Well, that's great. And I think those are great secrets to longevity too. You're very sage in that advice. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Sasha, it's very good, Sasha. You've been very interesting, hasn't he, Jimmy? I mean, this is
question about.
It's a great venture. A great
No
venture. Great venture, Sasha.
Thank you.
But the time is short because we do 30 minutes and we have so much more to cover. May we ask you to join us for another session where we could talk about TISB?
I will be honored to talk with you about TISB, and thank you for trusting me to be the guest on your another podcast.
Sure. I want to thank you too so much for joining us today. And we know you got a busy schedule, but we're looking for exactly what you're giving with our podcasts, and we appreciate that.
Cannot say enough of thank you words. I'm happy to be here speaking with both of you, and I'm ready to do it again when it's the right time.
next time we could talk about the hottest thing in America right now, and that is AI.
Absolutely.
Amen.
I know, Jimmy, do you see his eyes perk up when you say AI?
I can see that. I can
He
see
really
that
does.
we struck a chord there.
No, we did. And I've known Sasha for, as I say, almost 20 years. So that and cash strikes a chord with Sasha. Okay. So
It's a
as
good
it
word.
does with that.
That's
Yeah,
a good word.
Another good word.
Credit is also good. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So at the end of each episode, Sasha, we have a tradition, if you will, where we talk about government waste and spending here in the U.S. Not Latvia, but here in the U.S. Okay, and I'm sure there's some in Latvia. I subscribe to a daily newsletter from Steve Forbes, and you know Steve Forbes, Sasha, and Steve Moore, two great business people, and it's called Unleash Prosperity, and I'll put their URL right on the screen here. But I want to read to you that what was in one of this week's issues so far, and it had to do with the U.S. Post Office. And I'm going to hold this up so I don't misquote, okay? Unleash Prosperity highlights Louis DeJoy. He's the U.S. Postmaster General. And he promised when he took over that by 2023, the U.S. Post Office would break even. And by 2024, the U.S. Postal Service would run a surplus. Oh, it was a nice thought, but in actuality, 2023, U.S. Post Office lost $6.5 billion. And of course, you know where that came from. And in 2024, they lost $9.5 billion. Billing with B. DeJoy was so savvy that he took 125,000 United States Postal Service part-time employees and made them full-time with full benefits. And that is an example of where our money is going, Sasha. Just a very good example. Anything to add on that at all, Jimmy or Sasha?
Well, just from my standpoint, all we can hope is that our new DOGE department is going to target that directly, along with a lot of other government spending that is just totally out of control.
Sasha, anything to add?
I would say there is one more thing they lost, is a couple of my checks. So I'm okay with benefits as long as my checks are delivered, okay?
That's exactly. Well, Sasha, in your life, have you ever wondered why they call them postal workers and not mail escorts?
Thought to think on there.
So again, thank you so much, Sasha. It's been a joy. And as usual, it's always a joy to work with you. So
my pleasure.
Thank you again, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Will
Very
do.
good.
Goodbye.
Bye.